Nynorsk, an introductory overview. This is a text in Nynorsk. Nynorsk is one of the two written forms of Norwegian, and this is the third little video of a series of West Scandinavian languages being the North Germanic languages. So these are the Western Northern languages, and we're going to look at Nynorsk today and next week also. Next week we'll contrast it with the other form of Norwegian, written Norwegian, and that will lead us into Danish and Swedish, but today we're going to look back at our earlier texts of the other forms of what we would call the West Norse languages, and to refresh your memory, here is the Icelandic text that we saw 2 weeks ago again, and the Faroese text that we saw last time. And to compare and contrast this text with the Nynorsk text with those texts, it's quite easy to distinguish it, and within that context we lose both of our special consonants, the TH sounds that we had in Icelandic, and the remains of that, simply this sound, which is actually not a TH sound anymore. It doesn't represent any particular sound in Faroese, but we don't have that character at all anymore. We retain the sort of the O character with the slash through it. We gain an A with a little circle over that, and we'll keep that with the other continental Scandinavian languages. And if that's not enough, and I think it is, it's also to note that in comparison with the insular Scandinavian languages, Faroese and Icelandic, we really lose the accent proper. We do see it on one letter here, but that was all over the page in Icelandic and Faroese. So this is what Nynorsk looks like, and now I'd like to explain to you how it works by translating this text. And this text, Nynorsk, being, I'll explain what it is after I do that, being sort of a modernization of Old Norse, Gammal Norsk. This is a modernization rather than a translation of Eilsaga, which we read about in Icelandic as well, and which we'll look at in the original when we do a review of Old Norse. So in order to do that, I have to read this text to you, and if I had a professional video studio to do this, I'd have a native speaker do that. I don't, so I have to do it myself, and I have absolutely no pretensions to speaking this language or even reading it well. I'm just doing the best I can, so bear with me and try to hear, at very least, what I'm going to try to bring out is what we're gaining now with Nynorsk that we didn't have either in Faroese or Icelandic, is going to be a lilt. The continental Scandinavian languages, Danish totally accepted, but the ones up on the peninsulas, Swedish and Norwegians, are actually what we can call light tonal languages. They have, it's not so much for semantic differentiation as it is just gives it a characteristic musical lilt to it. So if I can read this text to you, it will sound perhaps something not unlike this. Det var en man som hette Ulv. There was a man som who hette was called Ulv. Wolf. Han var son till Bjalva och Hallbära. He was son till to Bjalva and Hallbära. Hallbära var dotter till Ulv den uredde och syster till Herbjörn halvtroll i Ravnistad, som var far till Kjetil Hung. Hallbära was daughter to Ulv, another Ulv, den var uredde, unread, afraid. Ulv the unafraid, Ulv the fearless, and sister till to Halbjörn, half-bear, half-troll i en Ravnista, som who was father till to Kjetil Hung. Ulv var en man så stor og sterk at det fanns ikke hans like. Ulv was a man, so stor, big, tall, and sterk, strong, at, that, det, they, found, ikke, not, hans, his, like. I ungdommen låg han i Viking og herja. In ungdommen, young time in his youth, lay han, he, in Viking, going a Viking, and herja, warring, pillaging. Han hadde lag med en som var kalla Berlikora. He had lag, lag med, lay with, so companionship, one som who is called Berlikora. Det var en jevman og en ovkar så sterk og modig. Han var berserk. It was a famous or renowned man, og and a ovkar, overman, superman, so like a hero, so sterk, strong, and modig, courageous. He was berserk, a berserker. Ulv og han hadde pingepong ihop, og det var den kjæreste vennskap med deg. Wolf, and he had pingepong, a purse or treasury ihop, together, so they kept their loot together. And there was den the kjæreste, dearest, vennskap, friendship med with deg, them. Da de sluttet med hærferdene, for kåret til gården sin i Bertla. When they sluttet, stopped, med, with, hærferdene, war sailing, war going, for, went, kåret, til, to, garden sin, his farm, his estate, in Bertla. Han var en øvelig rik mann. He was ein overly, extremely rich man. Kåre hadde 3 barn. Kåre had 3 barn, 3 children. En som heter Øyvind Lamba, og en Olve Nuva. One som who was called Øyvind Lamba, and one Olve Nuva. Dotter hans heter Salbjørk. Daughter hans, his, was called Salbjørk. His daughter was called Salbjørk. So, that's how Nynorsk works, and goodness, that took a long time to do that. Nynorsk is really the invention of one man, a 19th century linguist, who looked at his language, Norwegian, and said, we're writing this like Danish, which is an Eastern Norwegian, an Eastern Scandinavian language, and our dialects don't sound like that, and we know that historically we should be speaking Icelandic. Icelandic came from us, so let's go look at our dialects and let's make a compound language from them and give it a written form. So that is what Nynorsk is, and Nynorsk is sort of used, different statistics give different figures, primarily in this region of Norway, and we will look at it again in contrast with the other form of Norwegian next time.